Okay, now let us together analyze the secrets involved in using the expenditure methods to calculate gross domestic product. Now, for this method, you'll be required to get the value for consumption plus the value of investment plus the value of government expenditure plus the value of export minus import for you to get gross domestic product. Now, the first thing is that the value of consumption, you don't need to calculate it. It is there directly on the data. The value for government expenditure, you don't need to calculate. It is always given directly. You just pick it and you replace. Then the value for export is the same. They give you the value for export as well as the value for import. Now, what you will need to calculate first is the value of investment. I, to calculate investment, I. So put in your mind that investment always involves two elements that you must put them together for you to get the value of I. And the two elements, one is gross domestic fixed capital formation. The value for gross domestic fixed capital formation will be given to you in the data. Go and pick it. Then you plus the value of physical increase in stocks and work in progress. These are the two things that you need to put together to get the value for I, investment, to get investment. Now, gross domestic fixed capital formation does not have any problem. They will always give it like that, gross domestic fixed capital formation. It is at the level of the physical increase in stocks and work in progress. At times, they will put it as physical increase in stocks and work in progress. If it is like that, know that they have already calculated the changes in stocks for you. But if it is not like that, they will want you to calculate changes in stock. And if they want you to calculate changes in stock, this is what they will do. They will give you the stock of goods at the beginning of the year and the stock of goods at the end of the year. So what you will see in the data is that they will write stocks on January 2000 and maybe 2003, or they will give you stock in January 2017. Then lastly, they will give you again stocks on December 2017 for that same year. So they will give you the stocks in January and they will give you the stocks in December. You are the one to now calculate the changes in stock. And when you get the changes in stock, then you now add it with the gross domestic fixed capital formation to get the value for investment. So now, to get the what we call the changes in stock, don't be confused. The value must always be negative. The value must always be negative because you have to take the stock in December minus the stock in January. You take the stock in December minus the stock in January to get the value of changes in stock. Then you add it with the value of gross domestic fixed capital formation. That is how you get the value of investment. Then the next secret is at the level of net export. If the data comes with net export, then they put the value. It means they have already helped you to calculate export minus import. You don't need to calculate again. But some data will give you the value of export separately and the value of import separately. That is, you just need to substitute now and calculate. Then the next thing is net property income from abroad. That is the NPIA. Here, it is either they will give you net property income from abroad directly, which means they have assisted you in doing the calculation, or they will want you to calculate for yourself. And if they want you to calculate for yourself, they will give you property income from abroad separately. Then they will give you also property income paid abroad separately. Now, what you are using is net property income from abroad. So you take property income from abroad minus property income paid abroad for you to get the net. Then the last thing I want to tell you is at the level of a question asking you to calculate total investment. Total investment is equal to net domestic fixed capital formation plus changes in stock plus depreciation. I repeat, total investment is calculated by taking net domestic capital formation plus changes in stock plus depreciation. This is how you get net investment. These are the few secrets behind the expenditure method. Once you master this one, everything about the expenditure method is very easy and very simple. Then the last thing I want to tell you about this method is for you to know the items you are using. It is for you to know the elements you are using. Don't just pick any element and use because you saw it in the data. It is like you preparing your achu soup, then you place your ingredients on a table, then I come with rat bomb and place on that same table where your ingredients are found. You will not take the rat bomb and put into the achu soup because it was found among your ingredients. No, this is why you need to know exactly what ingredients you are using to put in your achu soup or whatsoever. And this is where now you need to understand exactly the elements you need to be able to do your calculation: gross domestic product, gross national product, gross the domestic product and market prices at factor cost, and all the others. So you need to know exactly the elements you need. Don't just use any element because it was among the data, because sometimes they will put some elements that you don't need on the data just to get you confused.